Well, hello, everyone. Dr. Foster here, the success coach with MaximumChange.com. Again, I'm working remotely for the next couple of weeks and just working the best I can and without my cool office and everything. But interestingly, last night I was involved in a group discussion with other parents. And if I can just be a little transparent for the moment, I have a young son who has been diagnosed with ADHD. And he's a great kid, very smart. He just has this deal that he has to work through. And so we're working through that with him. I'm actually involved in a process where I'm learning how to help him and maybe have a better relationship with him. So I'm being really transparent. But the point is, I was involved in this discussion last night with parents. And it's interesting because yesterday when I was talking on my live session, I was talking about mindset, basically positive mindset. Go back and watch the video from yesterday and you'll see what I was talking about. But what the discussion ended up being about last evening was this guy who is well known in the space of dealing with adolescents and children with ADHD, was talking about how our future is impacted by what has happened to us in the past. And I'm going to be honest with you, the way he was presenting it last night was really frustrating me because, I'm not a dumb guy and he's asking this question over and over again. It was kind of one of those logic loops, where if this, then that, if this, then that, and it kept just going and going. And what he was looking for was a specific word. And this is, where do memories come from? And, for me, basically your memory is something that's housed in your brain. And he goes, well, if you can open up your brain and look in, do you see a memory? I'm like, no. Everybody knows that that's stupid, obviously. But at the end of the day, what he was talking about was that our memories and our perceptions and how we deal with things today are all bound up in our past. And our past is memories, and our past creates sets of rules, and all of that is tied together with a glue of language. Now, it took me a minute to process everything he was saying, but at the end of it, what he was saying is exactly what I've been talking about for a year now. And really, it comes down to words have power, words are things, words create, words damage. The Bible says that the tongue has the power of life and even death. Think of that for a minute. That our memories and the way that we handle things today are all bound together. In fact, the way that he described it is, if you're walking through life, at some point in that time, you turn around and you look back and reference your past. And you create these rules about how you can't do something because of what's already happened. So your past dictates your future, or so does it. So this is where I push back on this renowned doctor. He's a PhD, PsyD, I guess is how you say that. He's a PsyD. He's a psychology doctor of psychology, PsyD. This is where I push back. While our past does set rules and dictates things in our future, or the way we handle the things in our future, what I believe is, and the reason why I believe it is because I think I am a good example of it, and that is the act of neuroplasticity. Now, I want you to spend time looking up neuroplasticity, but basically what neuroplasticity is this idea that your brain can learn new things. It doesn't mean that you get rid of the old stuff. I'm not saying that you forget the past, that the past is wiped away. But what I'm saying is that we can learn methodologies, tools, we can learn processes to manage how we reference the past rather than allowing the past to dictate the here and now, the present. And so basically what the doctor was saying was, if you look over here on the side here, I wrote GOMO, GOMO, get over it and move on. Now that's kind of a sloppy way of telling someone to deal with it. But I get it. I mean, I understand the context of it, and I understand why they're using it. But my point to you is, if you're listening to this, is that you have to deal with the past so that you can move on into your preferred future. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, if you're someone who is seeking success, hear me now. You have to deal with what's happened to you. Equip yourself with tools so that you can move forward into your preferred future. Your preferred future is what you want out of life. Your preferred future is a successful business. Your preferred future is maybe that Lamborghini, Maserati, whatever, or private jet, or nice house, or giving money away to orphanages in Zambia, in Africa or something. But my point is, it's not as simple as GOMO, GOMO. It's not as simple as get over it and move on. There's a process you have to go through, and that process is what's tied up in the idea of neuroplasticity. You have to create new connections in your brain, new ways of referencing the past without the past blowing up in front of you and stopping you from having that preferred future. I would say that the majority of the people that I run into that do not have successful businesses, it's because they're tied to something that happened to them. They're tied to a memory that they've enunciated into words and created power. And in fact, I can even go even further in saying from a faith standpoint that words can create curses. Now, you may not believe in that, and I understand that, but think of it this way. If you say something to yourself enough times, your subconscious mind, at the very least, begins to believe it. Think of it this way. A child is born, and they're raised, and they are told, you're stupid. I don't know why you were even born. You're a waste. I can't believe you even think that way. I think you know where I'm going with this. That child, at some point in their life, is going to believe the wretched lies that have been spoken over them. In fact, that becomes a curse to them. A curse is a form of imprisonment or bondage to something that they don't necessarily want or need. So the child believes that they're worthless. And so guess what? Now they're going through life with the reference of, I'm worthless. Now, some of you that are listening to this right now have probably had that happen to them. You have probably had someone speak into you that you're worthless, or that you're not going to amount to anything, or you're stupid. And I want to tell you right now that those are lies from the pit of hell. They are tools of the devil himself. And I don't care if you're a Christian or not. I don't care if you believe in good or evil or the devil, or I don't care in any of that. I'm just telling you what I believe. And I can speak with fervency and passion about this because I've walked through my own hell in trying to reprogram some of the things I have believed about myself. At some point, you have to stop saying that that situation has stopped me from being who I have been designed, called, and should be. my preferred future. So dealing with the past, that's not easy. For some of you, that may require some, I may have opened a can for you and you're now going to need to go find therapy. And I'm sorry about that. But the truth of the matter is, until you can deal fully, wholly, and solely with your past, what you truly want out of life can be a greater challenge for you. And I don't want to speak anything over you. I'm just telling you the truth. You've got to get over it and move on. I don't mean that in the callous sense. You have to deal with it. You have to deal with whatever it is that's holding you back. A belief system, something that was said to you, something that you say to yourself. You've got to stop it. Neuroplasticity is the idea that your brain can learn new patterns, new tools, new methods, new processes, new ways of approaching, new ways of dealing with, new ways of processing. It's a fancy word for you can teach an old dog new tricks. Okay? My grandfather, I attribute this saying to him, but truth is I probably made it up, but in essence, I'm paraphrasing the lessons that I received from my grandfather. My grandfather basically had this philosophy, even if it was not actually articulated this way, that if you stop learning, you might want to check your pulse because you might be dead. What I learned from him was that he was a lifelong learner. He was a guy that dropped out of high school or school and ended up going back later and getting his GED when he was in his 40s or 50s. I vaguely remember it as a child. He was a master carpenter and electrician. He was probably one of the smartest men I knew for someone who didn't know anything. I miss that man very much because he was wise. And he taught me a lot of things about life. And one of them was how you don't allow the past to dictate your future. He dropped out of school to help his mother. This is during the Depression. And he went on to, do all these things. And he kept moving and kept going, and he built a house with his own hands during World War II when everything was under rationing. And he would scrounge up nails, and he built this magnificent home. He had everything that happened to him in his past could have stopped him from being who he was. His father died when he was a child. His mother raised him. He had to drop out of school. He ended up going to a boys' home at some point with his brother. I mean, the story is horrific, but he found a way to move on and not focus on it. So I guess what I'm trying to say to you is you never stop learning. You must keep going. You must deal with the things of your past that hold you imprisoned so that you cannot think and move forward into your preferred future. Your preferred future is the future that you're working so hard to achieve. Maybe you want to own your own business, but there's something about it that's saying you're saying, I can never do that. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll never amount to anything. These are the crazy stories that we tell ourselves. And so I just want to encourage you to just find ways to recognize the lies you're telling yourself or the lies that have been told to yourself and rephrase them. The easiest way I can share about rephrasing something is like this. How often have you said or heard someone say, today's going to be a great day. Today's going to be a great day. Now think about what you just said or what you just heard. Today is going to be a great day. The key here is the words going to be. Because what it's saying is it hasn't happened yet, and you're not sure when it's going to happen, but it'll probably happen at some point, and it may happen at the moment you pillow your head that night. So while you think that is an optimistic statement, it's actually quite pessimistic. Even if you say it in a very optimistic way, today is going to be a great day. The better way to rephrase it is to say, today is a great day. You see the difference? What you're doing is you're taking authority over that statement and you're claiming what it is, not what it's going to be. So when you're walking through life, you're human. You're dealing with the human condition of memories and things that have happened to you. And yes, your past is there, and you're going to have to use your past as a reference in order to move forward, in order to be more effective in the things you're doing. Do not let the past stop you, imprison you, and lie to you that you're not worth it or worthy or able to or going to succeed in something. Okay? What you need to do is use the past as a reference point to catapult you faster, further, and stronger into your preferred future. At some point, you're going to have to find a way to get over it and move on. Some of those things that you work on getting over may take a while, and some of them may be easy. Okay, I'm Dr. Foster, and today is the life coaching lesson that I've brought you. I'm the success coach with MaximumChange.com. I believe in you, and I just want to encourage you. Today is a great day. Have a good day. See you soon.